Sally that girl in the kitchen. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sally that girl in the kitchen. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to make fried cheese with guava sauce. Queso frito con salsa de guayaba. It is so good, and it is a dish that I learned to love while living on the island of Puerto Rico. It's simple, but the flavors are far from simple because that sweetness you get from the guava contrasted with that saltiness you get from the cheese is absolutely divine. And the best part is you can grill your cheese, you can fry your cheese, you can really shake this up and prepare it any way you'd like. You can cube it, you can slice it, you could really make it your own. So I'm super excited to teach you how to make this. I know you're gonna love it. So let's not wait another second and let's get started. For today's recipe, you will need 6 sprigs of cilantro, 14 ounces of guava paste, a half a cup of vodka, a half a cup of water, 20 ounces of frying cheese, queso para freír, 1 cup all-purpose flour, and a few cups of vegetable oil for frying. You will also need a spider, a bowl, a wet measuring cup, and some dry measuring cups, 2 cutting boards and 2 knives, a silicone spatula or something to stir with, and 2 pots, a medium one and a large one. You'll also need a plate lined with paper towel to drain your cheese after it has been fried. So now that we have all of our ingredients and tools together, let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is remove the leaves off of your sprigs of cilantro and then just break them up. I like to just use my hands to just break the leaves up into very small pieces. Then grab your guava paste and open it up, and then you're going to cut it into cubes. Any size is fine, but what we're looking to do is cut it into smaller pieces to help with the melting process. So once you've cut them up, then what you want to do is add them into your medium-sized pot. Now, if they tend to stick together, then just use your knife or your hands to separate the pieces. Now, to your guava paste, you're going to want to add your vodka, and we're going to burn all this alcohol off. But if you're concerned, then you can just use water for this step instead. Then, right on top of that, you're going to want to add in your ripped up cilantro leaves. Then, just turn your stove on to medium heat to begin cooking off that alcohol and melting down that guava paste. It really develops a delicious flavor by melting it down this way with the beautiful aromatic cilantro leaves and the vodka. It really just creates a very rich, delicious flavor. So you're going to notice that fairly quickly the liquid starts to bubble up, which is perfect. That's what you're looking for. And then you just want to make sure to stay there with your guava because you want to constantly stir it. The heat and that bubbling vodka are really going to help melt down this beautiful guava paste. But it is important that you continue to stir it as it heats up to help the guava paste break down. So at medium heat, it should take about 7 minutes for all of this liquid to be consumed and for the guava to start melting and breaking down. And so what's going to happen is after those 7 minutes, see that there is no more liquid in the pan. That's when you're going to want to lower your heat to low, and that's when you are going to add your water into the pan. So you'll notice that I add just a touch at first because it will bubble up a bit. And then once that bubbling comes down, then I add the rest of my water in. And so the liquid will continue to bubble, but at this point, what you're going to want to do is just continue to stir your guava. And what we'll do now is completely melt down that guava until it becomes silky and smooth. And as you see, I use my silicone spatula to help myself stir and just break down those pieces of guava paste as I go, because what we're looking to do is create a smooth and silky guava sauce. So this part of the process should take about an additional 3 minutes on low, putting it at a combined 10 minutes to melt down your guava. And of course, every stove is different, so you are not fixed on that 10-minute mark. You're just looking for your guava to be nice and silky. And then once you get to that point, you can turn your heat off, and then your guava paste is ready. It's become this amazing salsa de guayaba, this delicious guava sauce that is infused with that vodka and that cilantro. Look at how beautiful our sauce looks. It's perfect, and it's going to be delicious with our yummy fried cheese. So then what you want to do is you just want to take your pot off of the heat and just set it aside for now. And now we're going to work on our queso para freír. So we're just going to take it out of its wrapper, and then we're going to cube our frying cheese, because what we want to do is create these beautiful cubes that are going to become golden once they are fried. Now, as I explained in the intro to this video, you could cut this however you want, and you could just pan sear this instead with just a little touch of oil, and you can just sear the cubes, or you can cut it in thin slices and then just cook those thin slices also seared in a pan. But today I'm going to show you how we actually fry these. We're going to do them deep fried. So in order to prepare them fried, I really like them cubed, because you're going to see just how beautiful they become when they get out of that frying oil. They are going to be absolutely gorgeous and golden. So trust me when I tell you that if you're going to be deep frying them, cubing them is the way to go. I will also mention that if you are going to be pan searing them, then all you have to do is slice them and sear them with a little oil. There's no other step involved, but I'm going to show you what I do when I deep fry them. And I will mention also that there are other cheeses you can use, like halloumi cheese or any other cheese that is made for frying. So now that your cheese is cubed, the next thing you want to do is grab your large pot, and you're going to add a few cups of oil to it. What you want is enough oil that when you add your cheese to your pot, your cheese is going to float and it's not going to all sink to the bottom. So once you've added your oil, you want to set your heat to medium, and you want to allow that oil to start warming up to get ready for frying. And then in your large bowl, you're going to add your flour, and then we are going to take our cubes of cheese and we are going to give them a light dusting of this flour. Nothing else. There's no egg or anything like that, because it's not a breading per se. It's just a light coating, and it's really going to make this cheese absolutely golden. And everyone is going to ask you, oh my, what have you done? This is so gorgeous and so tasty. How did you make these? And it's super simple. It's really just cubing the cheese up, tossing them in a little flour, and then frying them in oil. Now, we've given half of our cheese a nice dusting, and we are ready to start frying. So then all you want to do is gently start adding your cubes into your hot oil. And I'm doing half of the cheese at a time because I do not want to overcrowd my pot, because I don't want my oil temperature dropping. I want to maintain a nice stable temperature as I cook. And so I'm going to be doing one block of the cheese, and then once I'm done frying that block, then I will dust and fry my second block of cheese. Now, once you've added all of your pieces of your first block of cheese into your hot oil, you're going to notice that your oil gets a little cloudy, but that's totally normal. That's just from the flour that's been added to the cheese. And I set my flour aside, and instead I brought over my plate that I have lined with paper towel, because I want it near me and ready for when my cheese is golden and ready to be removed from the hot oil. So what I do is I just use my spider and I just go around ever so gently, moving my cheese around the oil so that I can turn the cheese in different directions, because I do want to make sure that every single side of this beautiful cheese fries up in the oil. And it is going to be so gorgeous once it's ready. You are not going to believe the transformation. It just becomes absolutely beautiful. And you saw how simple it is. It's really easy to make, and it's just an amazing appetizer or just something special when you just want a little nosh. It's really absolutely beautiful. And of course, since the cheese floats in the oil as we fry it, then some of them are very stubborn and I want to turn them and they just continue to turn right back. But that's totally okay. I think part of the fun is just playing with the cheese as we go along and seeing who wins, the cheese or you. So just enjoy the process and just flip them as you go and just flip them as best you can. And the ones that want to fight you, then so be it. Oh, I think I won. No, maybe not. It's okay. They'll get golden and beautiful no matter what. So once they start to develop this amazing color, just take a look at how beautiful they've become in that frying oil. Then you just want to grab your spider and just grab a bunch of them ever so gently and then transfer them over onto that plate that you prepared with paper towel, because we just want to drain off all of that excess oil. And look at how beautiful. The color is just absolutely amazing. That light dusting of flour and that just delicious cheese that's made for frying is just absolutely perfect. It's gorgeous. And then just let them sit there and just drain off that excess oil while we get ready to prepare our next batch. So of course, we're just going to repeat the same exact process. We're going to add the entire block into our bowl with flour, and we're just going to dust all of our cubes, and then we're going to just fry them as we did our first batch. Now, this may seem like a very simple dish, but the flavors are incredible and just totally complex, especially when you're serving it with that delicious guava sauce and that touch of cilantro in it. It's just absolutely perfect. But the best part is you can do whatever you want with these. You can serve them as if you were serving mozzarella sticks. Just serve it with some warm marinara sauce, or you can pretty much do with this whatever your imagination will allow, because they're so absolutely beautiful and golden and yummy. They're just perfect on anything. If you want a little protein on a salad and you just want a couple of these on top, anything you want to do with them, they're so delicious, and they really lend themselves to be served in so many different ways. And as I said, you can sear this cheese instead, and it's also golden and absolutely delicious. I can think of so many delicious sandwiches that I can make with a slice or two of this cheese seared, or even with a few chunks of it just as is. Imagine some of this in a pita with some vegetables. Absolutely amazing. So once your cheese is golden, you're just going to repeat the process and remove it, and then lay it onto the paper towel. And of course, don't forget to turn off your oil. And then we're just going to let our cheese sit on that paper towel for a little bit and allow it to drain. What I like to do is I just spread the cheese out very carefully because it's hot, so that they make contact with that paper towel and some of that oil definitely will drain right off. But tell me these don't look absolutely gorgeous. Look at how beautiful they've kind of puffed up, and that light dusting of flour has given them the most incredible color. They look appetizing and truly just amazing. And of course, let's not forget that delicious guava sauce that we prepared. This is going to be so divine combined with the guava sauce. If you've never tried this, you are in for a treat. So what I like to do is I like to serve my guava sauce into a bowl, and that way we have plenty of sauce for dipping our delicious fried cheese, our queso frito, into this amazing, delicious guava sauce. And then once the queso frito has drained off enough, then I also place those into a serving platter so that I can serve them alongside my beautiful sauce. They look golden and my sauce is sweet and just absolutely divine. Now, you can serve them just like this, where you just grab a piece and just dip it right into your delicious salsa de guayaba, or If you want to get a little fancy and you want to serve these to guests, then you can give them each an individual serving. And what I like to do is I grab a spoon, and then I use the back side of the spoon and I just paint a little bit of that sauce right onto the plate. And of course, in this case, I'm using a rectangular plate, which looks beautiful and totally fancy, but you could do this round and maybe paint a circle instead to kind of follow the outline of the plate. You could play with this and serve it however you want. But in this case, I'm going to paint my plate, and then I'm just going to place a few of these beautiful pieces of my fried cheese right on top of my guava sauce, and that way I can serve this as a beautiful appetizer or just something really special for each person, and it just really looks a little extra fancy and extra special. Imagine this for a wine and cheese night and serving this to each of your guests. How impressed would they be? And it's really quite simple to make, but it's so delicious and so different and just so yummy. So I also added a little bit of the cilantro onto the plate just to give it a little touch of color. And of course, I am going in for a little extra guava sauce because I really love that sauce. And I'm going to try these out because really they smell and look so, so good. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at the inside of this cheese. It's so perfect the way it holds its shape and its consistency, and it just doesn't melt as you fry it. And that dusting of flour is just absolutely perfect because it really just gives it that golden extra little something. And then of course, let's go in for just a little more sauce. And lucky me, another bite. So good. This looks so incredible. Amazing. You're going to love it. You have to try this. This is going to be one of your favorite new dishes. Super good. So how absolutely delicious does this fried cheese with guava sauce look? It is so spectacular, and the contrast of the saltiness and the sweetness is perfect. And of course, that guava is accentuated with that touch of cilantro that makes it absolutely delicious. You are going to love serving this to your friends or to your family. And as I said, you can just smear a little on a plate and place your cubes or triangles or slices of cheese on top, or you can just serve your cheese and then serve your guava on the side. Either way, it is spectacular and you're gonna love it. Trust me. No, better yet, don't trust me. You're gonna have to try to make this recipe yourself. And of course, if you've enjoyed today's recipe, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you haven't done so already, remember to subscribe to my channel and to touch that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I put up a new, different, and exciting recipe. And of course, travel over to my video tab because I have a ton of recipes already there. And if you're not following me on social media, be sure to follow Sally That Girl in the Kitchen on Facebook, Instagram, and on Pinterest. And you can also follow me as Sally That Girl FL on Twitter, Snapchat, and on TikTok. See you next time. Sally That Girl in the Kitchen.